It was a rainy autumn morning when Monique Jefferson, an exhausted social worker from Lakeview Adoption Center, stepped into the hospital room. The twins had just been born, both with beautifully rich brown skin, velvet eyes, and soft curly hair. But the most striking part was the icy silence that filled the room. Adam and Beatrice Wilson, both from a wealthy white family, stared at the babies with a mixture of disbelief and dread. The whispers had already begun, hushed conversations about infidelity, about the father being someone else. "These aren't my children," Adam finally said, his voice cold as he refused to even look at the newborns. Beatrice remained silent, her eyes vacant, either from shock or guilt. No one could tell. The next morning, hospital staff discovered Beatrice's bed empty. She had vanished in the night, leaving only crumpled sheets behind. Adam arrived shortly after, his face a mask of controlled fury. "Take them away," he demanded quietly. "I want nothing to do with them. No instructions, no offer of support, just abandonment." When Monique arrived at the hospital later that day, tears welled in her eyes as she gazed at the tiny twins in their sterile bassinets, a boy and a girl, both unnamed and unwanted. "Hello there, little ones," she whispered, giving them the first gentle names they would have. Maya and Miles, for now. Holding one in each arm, she felt their small hearts beating against her own and silently vowed that somehow, somewhere, they would find love. For 3 years, the siblings bounced through foster homes, never staying in one place long enough to call it home. Foster families found it difficult to manage two energetic toddlers, especially ones with the emotional complications that came from their traumatic start in life. The twins clung to each other fiercely. Any attempt to separate them caused epic meltdowns, screaming, crying, and reaching desperately for one another. They were each other's comfort, especially at night when they'd whisper and giggle in their shared bed, uniting against a confusing world. The Ray family changed everything. James Ray, a local firefighter with laugh lines etched around his eyes, and his wife Sophia, a community center teacher with endless patience, visited the twins at their fourth foster home. "We've been waiting to meet you two for a long time," Sophia said, kneeling to their level. Within weeks, the adoption process began. The twins were renamed properly. She became Nia Ray, and her brother became Noah Ray, and moved into a modest home filled with books, music, and most importantly, stability. Under the Rays' care, Nia blossomed into a talkative, curious child who loved reading storybooks and asking endless questions. Noah, quieter but equally observant, found joy in painting and music. Despite being black children in a predominantly white neighborhood, they faced the usual challenges, but the Rays shielded them with love, teaching them pride and resilience. "Your differences are what make you beautiful," Sophia would tell them. "Never let anyone make you feel less because of them." The peace shattered when 9-year-old Nia discovered her adoption file in a dusty box in the attic. She learned that Adam and Beatrice Wilson were her biological parents who had cast them aside because of their skin color. That knowledge stung like a physical wound. She told Noah, who reacted with squirming anger. "Why would they throw us away just for being black?" he asked, his voice small and hurt. The question haunted them both. When confronted, James and Sophia sat the twins down for an honest conversation. "Sometimes people act out of fear or ignorance," James explained gently. "But this isn't your fault, not ever. We chose you," Sophia added. "We wanted you, and we always will." The words helped, but a part of them still yearned for answers from those who had abandoned them. By 13, Nia had grown tall and poised, with deep mahogany skin and striking features. She found her voice through dance, joining a local dance troupe where her stage presence commanded attention. Noah discovered the same self-confidence through painting, his vibrant canvases winning small local competitions. Their talents gained them recognition in the community. The Ray twins, people would say admiringly, often forgetting they were once abandoned in a hospital room. Through high school, they excelled. Nia's graceful leaps across stages and Noah's vivid art exhibitions caught local media attention. By graduation, Nia had secured a dance scholarship to a prestigious performing arts college, and Noah had received an offer from a renowned art institute. "Someday I'll find them," Nia often told Noah during late-night phone calls after they parted ways for college. "They owe us an explanation." Noah would hesitate. "I'm not sure if I want an explanation or to just forget they exist." Despite attending different colleges, they remained inseparable in spirit, calling each other daily. Noah's artwork began selling in galleries, while talent scouts discovered Nia's mesmerizing dance solos through viral social media clips. By 22, Nia was touring internationally with a contemporary dance company. Noah's art pieces sold at auctions for surprising sums. They'd become extraordinary, not despite their beginning, but perhaps because of it. The letter arrived at Nia's dance company's New York office on an ordinary Tuesday. The return address indicated a small law firm in their birth state. Your presence is requested to address a legal matter involving your biological mother, Beatrice Wilson, who is terminally ill and wishes to see you. Please contact us. Nia's hands trembled as she dialed Noah, who was in London for an art exhibit. Should we go? She asked. After a long silence, Noah replied, yes. For closure, nothing more. 3 weeks later, they arrived at a modest hospice facility. The antiseptic smell mingled with the scent of dying flowers as a nurse guided them into a small room. Beatrice lay on the bed, her once blonde hair now white, her face gaunt, her eyes flickering with recognition when they entered. She tried to speak, but her voice dissolved into tears. I've waited so long to tell you I'm sorry, she finally managed. Noah remained by the door, arms crossed protectively over his chest. Nia stepped forward, her dancer's posture straight and defensive. Why did you leave us? The question carried 20 years of hurt. Beatrice coughed painfully, tears sliding down her sunken cheeks. Adam refused to accept black children, she explained weakly. He threatened to leave me, to ruin me financially. I felt powerless. She paused for breath. I've regretted it every day since. You could have fought for us, Noah finally spoke, his voice tight. I know, Beatrice whispered. I've followed your careers from afar. Every success I read about reminded me of what I'd lost, what I threw away. Her words fell heavily in the sterile air. Could an apology at this point mean anything? The twins shared a glance, 20 years of silent communication, allowing them to understand each other perfectly. Noah's face remained guarded, but Nia offered a small shred of compassion. We've had a good life, she said. A real family. 2 parents who actually loved us. You need to know that you didn't break us. Relief flickered in Beatrice's eyes, though sorrow remained etched in her features. With trembling hands, she pulled out a small envelope from under her pillow. Inside were baby photos the twins had never seen from those brief hours before Adam insisted on separation. I kept these, Beatrice murmured. Adam told me to destroy them, but I couldn't. The meeting ended quietly, with no dramatic forgiveness scene from a movie. They learned that Adam had died years ago, unrepentant to the end. What do you feel? Nia asked Noah as they walked through the hospital parking lot. He sighed. Anger, pity, sadness. I don't know, but I'm glad we came. Beatrice passed away 2 weeks later. There was no funeral invitation or inheritance, only a final message through the law firm. She wished peace for both of you. Months later, a journalist wrote a feature story. Remember the beautiful twins abandoned by their parents? Look at how they live. 20 years later, it recounted their separation, adoption, and achievements, referencing their meeting with Beatrice and how both siblings had gracefully handled it. Nia read the article in her dressing room before a performance, tears tracking down her cheeks. Noah called her, his voice reflective. It's surreal, isn't it? To see our story laid out like that. It is, Nia replied softly. But I'm grateful, Noah. We made it. That evening, Nia danced with particular emotion, her body telling a story of separation and reunion. Noah, an ocean away, put finishing touches on a new painting, 2 children holding hands under a stormy sky, somehow triumphant despite the gloom. Their lives remained intertwined. Distance and careers might separate them physically, but they were forever connected by the unbreakable bond formed that first day as newborns. From heartbreak to hope, from abandonment to achievement, they had become more than a sensational headline. They were living proof that love, once found, even unexpectedly, could heal the deepest wounds.